Come and take back your child. This grace.
Your glory, send your power. We want to move until you do. We need your glory, we need your presence. Fill this place, have your way. Send your glory, send your power. We want to move until you do. We need your glory, we need your presence. Fill this place, have your way. We give our all to you. Have your way. We give our lives away. Have your way. We give our all to you. Have your way. We give our lives away. Have your way. Send your glory, send your power, send your power. We won't move, until you do, God. Until you do. Oh, we need your glory.
Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Women with Words. We're here today. Let me just say place where we have no copyright. We do have copyrights to that song. It's a young Liberian artist, Evangeline Wilson. It's a beautiful song. I have it on speed that I played. It is specifically dedicated to my darling. I got her this evening.
She's trying to tell you I need some Jesus in my life.
But anyway, welcome. This show is going to be nothing but fashion design. I try to twist my hair tie a little bit this evening to beef up with what we got coming for us. Of course, I am, and I'm going to do the most important thing I like to do, call my name. I am Glendy Jane Jonius, here this evening with my two co-hosts.
Michael Padmore, glad to be back.
Welcome back, Mikey, and I'm Agatha Joseph. We can't compete with that hairdo, that hair tie. Let me say it the Liberian way. The hair tie won't cover one ass.
Yes.
This one.
Two puffs. It's two puffs.
Hey.
We have a fashionista in the house. So what do you think? I gotta switch it up a little bit. So let me tell you folks, first today is St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone. We can't help that our color's not out. And the green we have on is not out, but at least the screen, the monitor does have some green in it. So we're celebrating. I actually am going to probably drink some green something this evening
Okay.
to identify with the people. But welcome everybody. Please share the show. Of course, we said this month is the month for our fashion designers. We're highlighting some of the best Liberian fashion designers here this month. There's a lot out there, but we want for you all to get to know them. We are so excited of the fashion designer we have this evening. But first, I want to say there's been a lot of stuff going on in Liberia. We'll go to the headlines later, but of course, I think this year is the only year where we've talked a lot about JJ Rao's birthday. So we want to say happy birthday to our president, JJ Rao's. Happy birthday, Papa. We'll talk about you later.
Okay.
We will talk about him later, but it's a pleasure. Agata, you want to just add a twist? Tell us a little bit about what's going on today.
Of course, we have a great show. As Glendy said earlier, this month we are really highlighting and promoting everything fashion of Liberia. We have some really talented fashion designers that are Liberian, and they're based all over the world. So not only in America, we talked about one that is present in Liberia, but I am most excited today because we have a boss chick with us. And I cannot wait to just chat with her for you to get to know her and see how talented this young lady is. So I'm going to steal this from Glendy because she's usually related or have a relationship with a lot of our guests. But I have to say, this boss chick and I started primary school. In fact, we started kindergarten
hold
together.
the story. Let me bring our guest. I can't wait today. She's trying to really own this space today, but I'm gonna give it to you, baby. It's all
that's okay.
Today.
You can bring this boss chick on.
Let's welcome our guest. Benji, welcome to Women with Words.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. So I got to explain the story now.
Oh, I already told the story. Well, welcome Evangeline Delaney. I knew her as Evangeline Wilson, but she's still Mrs. Delaney now. Welcome to Women with Words. We are excited to talk to you and have you on the show. We would love to get to know you. So I'm going to just turn it over to Glendy because you know what? Me and her go way back. And I'm just going to refer to Benji now as this boss chick, okay?
So we want to welcome you. We're excited that you could take off your time to come on and tell us so that we hope that this won't be your last time. Like I always say to the guests who come on, this show was actually created for all of you, all of us. It's equally your show as it is our show. If you're showing, if you have any new designs or anything and you want to come back on, please certainly don't make this your last. Feel free. Yes. One of the perks about coming on this show is that you now have free access 100% to our page to promote all of your items. So whatever you want to, my money didn't reach yet to the V-Chic design, but I'm hoping.
Look, the woman got it for everybody pocketbook. Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
But I do like, and before I start the interview, I was looking at the website and I do like the bag, the one, because you know the thing about I'm so old-fashioned a little bit when it comes with certain things. I'm sorry I have to say that. But I like the bag that I don't have to hold. So that I think there was one like you said.
Crossbody.
Yes. So hopefully there's a guy out there who's gonna surprise me. If you're out there, please go to let me put the website on here.
Oh Lord.
We even thought that the woman should start begging.
No, I already
Sons of Adam, y'all be careful. Well, let's get to meet our designer of the day.
But anyway, welcome, Benji. We want to first start by you telling us who Benji is, who Benji Delaney is. Tell us so that our audience can know a little bit about you.
Of course, like I gotta say, we go back to convent days, but I'm actually Evangeline Wilson before Delaney, and I'm an only child. I don't have any brothers or sisters, so I grew up in a household with other family members. But I consider sister and brothers, growing up. I had a good childhood, I would say. Everything was fun until the war, and then, of course, we all had to, move away for a better life, and that placed me in Ghana, where I worked a couple of years, and I went to school there, and then I transitioned to the US in 2002, where I studied international business and economics and a minor in finance at the University of St. Catherine in Minnesota. And then, everything went on. In 2014, launched the brand, and here I am today. So
how you go from convent to St. Kate's? Really?
Well, convent, that's the only school I went to in Liberia. So from kindergarten until I graduated from high school. And then, of course, I was in 12th grade when the war hit. So we didn't have any life there. But fortunately for us, We reopened schools in 1992 when I graduated from high school. And then, of course, I don't know if you follow you probably already know what happened in Liberia from 1990. There was always up and down. There would be one time we'll be living normal lives, and then things happen again. So I went through all of that, tested LU for a little bit there, but there was nothing consistent there. And I really wanted to obtain my bachelor's of science degree. So I was like, I'm not going to stay here. This is just up and down, up and down. So I left and went to Ghana, hoping that I would be able to go to school in Ghana and graduate and get my degree. But when I got to Ghana, they were saying, well, you have to go back to 11th grade in order to go to the University of Ghana. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I've been out of high school for maybe like, I would say 6 years, maybe 5-6 years. And then you're telling me to go back. I'm like, okay. Fortunately for me, I was able to, make connections there, which I always do everywhere I go. And I connected with some Ghanaians in Ghana, and I was able to land a job working for Hewlett Packard in Ghana. So I worked on at that time, they had just brought in Hewlett Packard into the Ghanaian market. And I used to help this lady at her, like a little spot where she used to sell food and stuff. I would go there and just hang out. And this one Ghanaian girl came, met me, connected with me. And she was like, hey, we got an admin assistant who's traveling to have a baby. Do you mind coming and, seeing if we can do an interview? And because this is the thing, every time people would go to that spot, I would engage people on current events. I was not only talking about the Liberian community, or I was not only talking about the Liberian war. I was always versed in international, talks and things like that. So they could relate to me. That's the only thing I would say, because there was nothing special there. Mm-hmm. And so I went and did the interview. The company is owned by some Australians. Mm-hmm. They're still in Ghana, doing the business there. And so I got the interview, and they hired me. And so I worked in Ghana. And for her, the girl that I met, we're still friends till today. She lives in England now. Right. We just found this really great bond. And she was like, do you want to move from your place? Because she had a whole house. And she's like, you can pay half the rent and come in, and so that's what we did. And I stayed there, and I was still hustling when I was in Ghana, trying to get a scholarship to come to the US, because I was like, if I can't get my degree in Liberia, I can get it in Ghana. I need to figure out a way to get out of there. And I've always been that girl. I mean, from a young age, I've always been that hustler. Even when I was in Liberia and the war hit, I worked with the UN for about 3 years. They had a project that come in, and I was able to get in and work for 3 years with the UN. So it was nothing new to me. So we worked together, and then I was like, I need to get out of here. So I started looking for scholarships in the US. And fortunately for me, at the time, this university I went to, St. Catherine's, the all-girl Catholic school, was actually going to Africa and were recruiting from Kenya, most especially. Nice. And so when I applied, I got a scholarship to come to the US and go to school. Wow. So that's how it was. But when I came in, they only offered me like 45% scholarship. So the rest I had to work for, to pay my tuition. I didn't mind. I just wanted to come, Right. And unfortunately for me, the dean kind of connected me, some lady from India, but because I was in the economics department, she just kind of connected with me, and she would always tell me these different things. Like if something was going on in Liberia, she was like, you can bid with a committee and get more money. Right. And so I did that every time until I was up to like 65% of my school fees were paid. Nice. Yeah. And then the rest, I was working 2 jobs. I was working at Macy's, and I was working at another doctor office, and going to school. And then taking, I remember one semester I took almost 28 credits. Wow. But I wanted to get out of school so fast, because this school, when I got in, it's a private school. When I got in, one credit was $515 for one credit. Yeah. Right now, I think they run about $2,000 a credit. But when I wanted to get out of there so fast, so I don't have a lot of debt, because I didn't have no student loan. Keep in mind, I came on international student status. Right. So I couldn't get the financial aid. Yeah. Right. And so I had those 2 jobs. And I remember one evening I had stayed up. It was midterm. I had stayed on campus to work. And I hustled away and bought a car and all that. I had a $500 car that was taking me here and there. But I was leaving school because I had overworked. The light looked green when it was actually red. But it was like 1 o'clock in the morning leaving campus, because they used to leave the library open longer during midterms. And I was going through that light, And fortunately for me, no car was like coming to, or else it would have been the end of the story because I was so tired. But I just wanted to get out of there. I wanted to get out of there because the school fees went out every year by 5%, like 2 to 5%. And I'm like, I'm not gonna stay here. So I even took some classes off campus to come, like those art history and things. I had to take them off campus because I mean I couldn't take them there, and it
During
was
the
not
cost.
right. And then on top of that, it was nothing to my degree because I was getting a degree in economics.
Right.
So like art history was not a
Electives.
big deal. However, your dean had to approve it if you had to go off campus, but then you have to maintain a 3.5 GPA to get it approved. So I had to keep that GPA up in order to get those classes approved off campus. But I did it, I got graduated with honors, and I had a double major because I did economics and finance. So it was a blessing, to be honest with you. But I guess it was just a determination that kind of pushed me. And so yeah, and so we're here today. I worked in corporate America for a while. I did not do economics though. I did HR with a company in Texas because when I graduated from Minnesota from University of St. Catherine, I was like, I don't want to stay here. It's too cold.
Oh,
Too much.
cool.
Yeah, it was too much for me. So fortunately, during that time I got married, and I moved to Texas. I stayed in Texas for about 11 years or so. And then I left Texas and then moved to Virginia. But when I was in Texas, I had initially launched V-Chic Design, but I was still working corporate America and doing the fashion thing on the side. It was tedious, it was hard, but I had to do it. And then when I finally came here, I did not want to go into the workforce here doing just any job because I felt like, I mean, I've put in the time, and that's the kind of person I am. If I must get into anything, I set the bar for myself, and if anything come lower, I don't go for it. That's just how I do, and that's just how I run my business as well. So I couldn't find any work when I came to Virginia in the space or even something similar. I just couldn't find a job. So my husband was like, Van, he was like, Angie, you probably want to put more time into what you do, with the fashion thing. So I started putting more attention to that. And then that's how it kind of blew up. I started like I said, anything I put my hand on, I go hard.
Yeah.
So if I decided to do the fashion thing, then I must go all out for it.
Right.
And so I just started pushing and pushing, and that's the thing about it. And that's why I tell people sometimes you just got to put your head down and work, because you may think you're not out there, but the people who see will see.
Absolutely.
And fortunately for me, just one thing led to another. People will refer me. I showed in the Philly Fashion Week. My designs ran the walk with my designs were in the newspaper there, and then Macy's happened.
Don't get into that yet. We're just talking about Evangeline Delaney right now. We're gonna switch to
Okay.
V-Chic Design because if this Evangeline story is very interesting.
Okay.
I can't wait to hear
Yeah.
about V-Chic. So just
Yeah.
tell us
So
about
so far, that's what it was. So that was life from just getting a degree, moving into the space of even trying to figure this whole fashion thing out and all that. But that's how it's been all along. Just push. That's just the kind of person I am.
I like the word you use, hustle. You use hustle a lot.
Yeah.
In America, the I'm gonna steal this word from the previous talk show I just listened to. The elites don't say hustle; they use the word networking. But when you say hustle, I feel your grind. I truly understand it, and it just amazes me how much work, how much sweat, tears, and all of that you put into being who you are today.
Right. And you can't call it networking, because at that point you're not networking, you're bootstrapping. You make a design and you make $200 from that design. From that, you don't go and spend that money. You take that same money and put it. So that's bootstrapping. That's hustle. There's no networking going on in that instance. So there is networking part to it, but the hustle is there. It's
there. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's amazing to just compliment you and to say that I don't think you could have come on the show at any other time except for this time, and except especially for this month when we're celebrating women. and
Yes.
listening to your amazing story and listening to your commitment to self.
Yeah.
It's like keep pushing yourself. And I think
Mhm.
other people, I hope that other people will hear who may want to get into whatever they like doing,
Yeah.
that they won't give up. And just hearing that 28 credit hours,
Yeah.
I was like,
I would have
wow.
died.
Yep.
When I was old, 16, still were plenty for me.
You got a party one night, you say.
Yeah.
Was it? But it's an amazing. I think just hearing your story and how you started and how you were determined. We want to also congratulate you
Thank
for
you.
this Black History Month and how much you've accomplished. So I
Thanks.
want to find out. I hear a little bit of accounting and I hear about business and economics. How do we leave that and get to designs?
Well, this is the thing, and I think this what I'm doing right now, I think that's what I was created for, to be quite honest with you, because before the accounting and all that, I started fashion back in when I was like 12. Okay. So my mom used to make some of her own clothes because my mom is a fashionista herself, right? And pretty much that's where I took the whole, thing from. But she would make her own clothes. And then the leftover pieces, I would take it and make my doll clothes or do something fun with it. And then as time went on, gradually, I started doing my own thing, making my own clothes for myself. So I think fashion has always been there. But as you know, coming from a Liberian household, you ain't going to stand in front of your parents and tell and say you want to do fashion design. You're not happening. There's no way I want to tell my mom that. So
no.
You got to go through you got to go through the regular route. So
especially when your man or someone saying you to convent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you don't want that child.
You don't want that child. You got to, but you won't go start
right?
Dresses. Something wrong with you.
You almost so.
Right. And just to piggyback on that, right? When I think I was in 10th grade, and that time, the boy face and all that kind of thing coming through. I wanted to leave the all girl business. I wanted my mom started finding excuses. I wanted to go see her here. She said, "Why? Can you go back slap?"
African mothers.
Exactly. So can you imagine that? And then the funny thing about it that I'm doing fashion now, because she used to take her machine when she would go to work, because she used to work at Chase Manhattan Bank and then Meridian, she would lock up her sewing machine. But she had 2 other keys on the bunch and she didn't know. I used to take one key and keep it. So when she go to work, when we home during the summer break, she go to work, I would drag that machine out, do all my sewing. When I know it's about 4:30 for her to come, now I take the machine back. And I would try to set it, but she noticed something. And then she put something on it just to make sure I would put it back. And she realized that that's what I was doing. I got spanked for it. And that's how I tease all the time. Said, look at what you were beating me for. Now, this is what I'm doing.
Now she wearing your designs.
That's
exactly.
Amazing. I went back home last year. I took some of my bags for her. I'm like, see, so yeah. So fashion has always been there, I believe. But like I said, you can come up with something like that. You had to go to school. And I'm happy I did go to school and learn the business, because to be quite honest with you, some of the theory and the practicality, things we did in business school, to be honest with you, it makes it easy for me to understand, like if I'm doing a training, when somebody explaining, on breaking down, supply and demand, I know how to understand it. When they talk about profitability, I know how to understand those things because I've been, trained in those things. So it's not very far, when I'm doing those type of training outside. So I'm glad it turned out the way it turned out, that fashion was where I finally ended and not the other way around. So
Michael, Gata, pick it up.
So let's talk about V-Chic designs. So we learned about Evangeline.
Yeah.
Convent St. Catherine's girl.
Yeah.
You did the HR thing. And then where did V-Chic design come from?
So back.
Let me just say right now, this is where I go into my colloquia when she's doing that V-Chic. I was a V-Chic. Man.
That's fun too.
About V-Chic, yeah.
So going back to when I lived in Texas, there came a time I started making my own clothes to go to work. I would make my stuff and go to work, and people would like it. I was just doing it, just to be honest with you. At that time, I was not thinking about this thing going anywhere. I would just make my things on the weekend and wear them. And then people would be like, where did you get that from? So that's how it started. And then there's another girl, we kind of live in the same neighborhood, a Nigerian girl. I remember the first time she gave me something to do. That was the first time I got paid to do anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't sleep that night because I didn't understand anything about pattern cutting. I didn't understand anything about grain lines. I didn't know any of these things. So I got a freelance,
Free-handed,
free
right.
hand sewing. So I was like really worried, but fortunate. And then the thing about it is, you know how when they're having their occasion and stuff, everybody buy the same kind of fabric.
Yep.
I
As
sure did.
Webby.
You ain't coming from nowhere. So I was but fortunately for me, she's a petite girl, so I was able to make her clothes for her. And then that was from that time I started doing her work, do more. But I was still trained. I was still learn. I go to
Right.
YouTube, still learn. I did courses and things like that just to kind of brush up and really get to that level. Because when I started the whole thing and I decided to make this something for me when I was launching the brand, I did not want. I wanted my vision for the brand was one day I want to be in stores. That's where I was looking. So if I must get to that place, then I have to be on par with the things that have been sold in the stores.
Right.
I have to make my things quality,
Yes.
clean, neat, and everything done well to be able to get there. So I had to put in the work because I didn't go to traditional fashion school.
Right.
So I'm already at a disadvantage because there's a certain way you have to cut fabric when it comes to the pattern on the fabric.
Yep.
The green line you have to cut. If you don't cut, that's why sometimes people take their clothes to people and it's lopsided because it's probably don't know how to do it. They
To
didn't
cut against the green.
line. So the clothes is lopsided. You saw everything fine, and then you have to learn the fabrication process. Every fabric works differently. With satin, you put too much heat to it while you're making it, it stretches out. Some fabrics, when you put too much heat, it shrinks. So you might have the right measurement, but by the time you finish making the clothes, because you not press it so many times, it's shrunk. You'd be like, but I had the measurement right because you didn't understand the fabrication. You didn't know what texture you were playing with. So there's all those things that you have to learn. And if I must get to where I say I want to be, I had to put the extra work in. But I launched the brand in 2014. Finally, after I worked for Omonel for a while, she's a doctor in Texas, I think Texas Children. But I launched the brand and then I started getting orders. As a matter of fact, when I launched the brand, I launched with 17 pieces that day. I won over a period of 4 months and I made 17 pieces. And I was going to work. So it was not like I sitting home. I had a full-time
Right.
5 job, right? But when I launched the brand, fortunately for me, the people I worked with, they were so supportive. I mean, every last one of those people attended that event. I sold out all the tickets I was selling. Fortunately, the tickets was what I used to pay off the space, for the space. And one of the guys I used to work with, he had a band and they used to play to weddings and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, when I used to tell him all the time we'll launch the brand, he's like, Vanjie, as a commitment to see you do this, when you do launch, I'm going to bring the band and play for you for free.
Nice.
So I said, okay. And so he put a thing on my calendar. He said, on this date, the website should be up. So I remember 2 days before the time I was procrastinating, I'm like, damn, I started feeling guilty because that's the kind of person I am. If I say I want to do something, especially if somebody's holding me to it,
Right.
I'm so stressed about it, I mean, he owed me nothing. Like I needed to get it done because for me, I felt like if I didn't do it, then I was defeating myself, So I launched the website. At that time, I was not making things to sell on the website. I would just wear the pieces. I mean, my own stuff. Sometimes I'll mix it in with things and showcase it. And people be like, where you got that earring from? I like the blouse and things like that. So then that's when I started putting more of my stuff. So I said, well, if I can style these things like this and people liking it, what if I put more of my stuff in the styling, then I'll be selling my stuff because if people like it, they can buy what I'm, putting together. And so I started doing that and I was blogging in the process, talking about the clothes, where I bought them from, why I paired them, the way I paired them, what makeup look I use and why I use the red lipstick versus a darker lipstick. I mean, I would explain all that in the blog and people were really enjoying that.
Nice.
So I said, something's here, but I was still doing my 9 to 5. So I launched the brand. George came, he played. There was another lady who used to really like what I had. She was a photographer. She said, I haven't done fashion photography. She said, if I do your your photographs for your fashion show. If you allow me to, I would do it for free.
Wow.
Well, she did it for free, and I got the pictures. I just wanted something to document that I did this. I didn't care if
Right.
it was just going to be good. I just wanted, but they came out okay. And it just went from there. And that night, I think I had 17 pieces. I sold 8 from the walkway.
Wow.
People who came to the show saw the thing. Some of the girls, because I didn't have real models. People who I work with had teenage daughters. I used their daughters. I asked them, is it okay for your daughters to do the show for me? Some of them did it. Some co-workers who were working with me, they were the models for the show. And it was really good. I think the only thing I paid for was the food, because I did like a sit-down dinner kind of thing. You bought your ticket, you got dinner. And
Right.
so that's the only thing I paid for. And then I went to a Liberian caterer. And I said, look, I think 2015 I get 450. And I said, I got 25 people coming. Can you make it? And she went,
Wow.
yeah, she went over to make. Everybody had plate. They had salad. I mean, they had the meat. They had the salad. It was good. It was a beautiful night. And that was after that. I just started. I mean, money was just coming in. I was just making, like, people will have stuff to do. I would just money was just coming in. At one point, I was like, you know what? Maybe I can quit my job and do this full time. But it was way in the future. I was not doing it now. It's like a miracle, to be honest, because I never ever thought that I would be doing this as a full time career. Like my
That's impressive.
yeah. So I really didn't. I know that. But I went along with it. I didn't give up. There were hurdles, and people don't understand. It's not like I got up every morning and it was easy. No, there was some. Let me give you an example. There was one time, this Nigerian girl that I used to make the clothes for, she told another friend. And this girl brought like a suitcase. People sent her clothes. You know how people that sent her clothes from Africa. People had sent her clothes from Nigeria. And she brought this suitcase of clothes and she wanted them altered. I know nothing about alteration at the time and all that. What different thing when it comes to alteration. I remember I had to get clothes in the house procrastinating. Just what can I do? Because when I look at the thing, they said it even line up the way I learned it, because the way I was learning how you were learning school. But
Right.
I don't sew like that. So I'm confused at the whole thing. I remember I was so frustrated. I called my mom. I was crying. I said, I got it. Can I give me her money? I know. My mom said, you better find out, get money and give it back to her. And she told me, she said, in sewing, there's several parts in sewing. You can be a designer and don't even touch the sewing machine. You can be a person who sews and have no idea how to design.
That's true.
You can be a person who do alteration and you understand how to design. You choose the lane you want to be in and you stay in that lane. If alteration is not your thing, stay out of it. I found I get money, I get my money back. So anybody calling me about alteration, I do not do it.
She went straight Liberian Gladness. She said
no alterations, and that was it. I was done with it. I'm like, I'm not touching this thing no more. And that's why, I mean, if I make something for you custom, definitely I can adjust it because it's my, I put it together. I can figure it out. But anybody come to me about alteration, as soon as she starts saying, can you alter this? I say, I'm not in that space.
All right.
I can do it. Because what people don't understand when it comes to sewing is some alteration, you have to open the entire clothes to re-sew it.
Yes.
And it's almost like I would rather just sew the clothes and have to redo it,
Exactly.
It's a lot of work. So I'm like, I don't touch alteration at all. If I make something for you, maybe you gain a, because I remember Eva had bought something for me and she lost some weight. She had to send it back and I altered it. That was, it's easy. That's my stuff. I made it. I know how to adjust it. But if I didn't touch that, if I didn't cut the pattern to it, I'm not touching it to alter it. No. Maybe I can cut a hem and make it shorter or long, but nothing else. So yeah, so V-Chic has been, to be honest with you, the leaps and bounds that this business has gone, God first, and I would say the commitment to keep going, because what people don't see behind the scene is those days when you know, you're making something, you've maybe spent at least $200 in fabric, and you're making it, it doesn't come out the way you intended it to come out, and you have been up until 2, 3 in the morning, you know, you're crying like, how can I get this done? I said I was going to launch this time, it's not ready. People don't see all those things on the back end. Or for example, there are times I've made people clothes and I screwed up. You know, people don't see those things and see that those things can happen. They just assume that everything you put out there is beautiful, and is no. There are times you like along the journey, there is you. I mean, I'm not saying just keep making mistakes. You make the mistakes, you learn, and you grow from them. But on the way to getting to that place where you're so confident now that, you know, there is a lot of things that happened along the way. I remember there was this girl, she was having, I think she was getting engaged, and I've never met her. But fortunately for me, I have practiced working with measurements and things like that. I have gotten really good at it, that I don't have to meet you to make you your clothes. Like Bonnie, I worked for Bonnie for 4 years before I met her. I just met her to her mom's funeral. Okay, I have been making clothes for her, you know. And so there are people that I've said today, I've worked with when I was doing custom. I stopped doing custom now, but I was working for people making their clothes without seeing them. Only thing I would ask you, go to a professional or person who do measurements, and once it's I will send you the measurements I want, and I will make your clothes for you perfect. It fits you. And so when I remember I was I was making this one dress for this Indian lady, and I think I screwed it up or something, but I was way in the beginning, and she was so, I mean, she was mad. Number one, I had just lost one of my very good friends in Liberia from Ebola. I think tore me apart. I couldn't do nothing. So her work, I rushed it. I'll be honest with you, it was on my part. I rushed her work, and it was a mess. But funny thing is, it was my own design, because she told me do whatever you want to do. It was my design that I created, but it was not clean. There was a lot of mess in there that I could have done better. When she went to the wedding, she was the star of the wedding. Even though, because some of the messes that I made, it was like, you know, I had some strips on it, but the sewing with the stitch were not straight. There was
right.
But she's very particular, and I have people who are like that. They will pay attention to down to the little stitch and things like that. And I don't mind, you know, because you pay, you need the service. I don't mind that, you know. And so she was mad at those things. But apparently, when she went to the wedding and was everybody talking about notice. So today I still got her review on my, it's one of the oldest review I got on my Facebook fan page, my business page. She wrote a beautiful review for me, you know. And so that's when you learn, like, you're gonna mess up. You learn from them, you get them corrected, you keep going, you will mess up everywhere along the way. There's no way it's going to be perfect every single time. And that's one of the reasons why the headache for custom order was just too much. So I started to move away from custom order. So now I'm really into the ready to wear space. You know, I mean, I'll do custom order like here and there, but it was just too much for me, because I was looking at it. I'm like, okay, if I was sit 5 hours to make one dress for $250, and I can run my business with marketing and strategy and make $2,500 in a week, why would I want to put that time into making a dress? But that's why I still do my, like, if right now I'm coming out with my spring collection, I still do that because I don't want the design to die.
Right.
I still want to be creative, so I still do those things. But custom orders, I just kind of decided to stay away from that for now.
Before I turn it to Michael, I'm gonna tell y'all she still owes me that jacket.
Jacket.
There you go. As long as you remember, we're good. I'll turn it over to Michael. You're on mute.
Muted.
Okay.
You're still on mute.
There we go.
All right, you can hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great. So for me, so we've heard about Evangeline, we've heard about V-Chic. So
yeah, there goes the V-Chic.
I want to talk about Mr. V-Chic, and the role he has played behind the scenes in all of this. So why don't you tell us about Mr. V-Chic?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know if I would even be on this level if it was not for his support.
Wait, hold on. Talking one,
Okay, son of Adam.
talking one more time.
He's aware
It's
because
just shameless. I'm not gonna just shameless.
You
Go
know,
And
ahead,
that's
yeah.
funny.
talk
For
about our brother, yeah. Talk
all
about
my
our brother.
brothers out there, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, but to be honest with you, because let me just say that when I first moved here and like I said, I was not finding the job and all that. He eventually put more time to this and whatnot. Um, I used to, he's, as a matter of fact, because when we first met, I told him off the bat, I said, I'm a workaholic. I say, for me, I hope you're ready for this because I am a person who, when I commit to something, when I put my mind to something, I'll do it. I remember the first night I was doing some research on something and I had stayed up all night. He saw me in the living room on my computer doing my research. He went to bed. The next morning, he was getting up to go to work. He said, "So when you sleep?" I said, "No." He said, "So that what
Wow.
you meant when you were saying that you're working on?" I said, "Yeah." Sometimes that's where it gets to. But to be honest with you, he is like, I don't even know. He's like my backbone. Okay, because
Wow.
there are times where I will work and forget to eat. There were times I used to put alarms on my phone to be able to stop to eat because I will forget to eat. And I'll be sitting in my office working, Van not cook. He bring food for me to eat.
Aw.
Or I don't even do laundry. Sometimes he does all the, I mean, the support I get, I don't think I would have got. I don't know what life would have been with somebody else, but God knows why this came at the time it came because to
Yep.
be quite honest with you, he is my biggest supporter.
Awesome.
He goes hard for me, so and he knows it, I talk about it every time I do shows like that. I always, bring this up because he's there, he's my everything, like in terms of giving me that support. Because can you imagine you're trying to run a business and do all these things, because you know how
Yeah.
many decisions you're making in a day when you're running a business, and now that I have a team, it's a lot. And then you got to think about this. And I'm the person who will keep working and forget. I'm telling you, I would forget to eat. I used to set my alarm on my phone to stop me to take breaks or to eat. Or sometimes he would get mad. Be like, he would go out. He would see me sitting there. He's like, I can't believe I went and you get up from that computer. Get away from that thing small and turn around, do something. And I'm like,
Right.
when I got, he said, damn, Vanchi, you got to give yourself a break. And then we got the joke. He said, God would tease him. I say, you older than me, so you die before me. He said, at the rate you go, you might die before me. But yeah, he's been my support. He's there, he's committed. Like when I launched in Macy's, he was there right there with me.
Aw.
When I make decisions, I mean, Van is not the person who's making the financial decision in the business, but I still run things by him just to
Right.
kind of get his feedback so he
Right.
understands that, I value your input. And most of the time I go to him, he'll be like, you know what you're doing, you get do what you're doing, you know what you're doing, and things like that. I mean, every now and then he will, give it. Like when I was trying to branch off to do the men's backpack, well, like, I don't think you should touch that. As a matter of fact, what some people ask on the comment on the Facebook, like, do you do men? But he said, my wife ain't touching no man. She do no man measurement, but even though he said, Vince, I don't think you should touch that. But I said, it would be good for me to not do the clothing right now, maybe just touch on the, bags and stuff. He still trusts him, and he didn't get mad at me and say, "Oh, do you not do this?" He still
Right.
trusted my judgment,
Mhm.
and I decided to do that, and it's doing well. To be quite honest, the guys like the bag, so
Those
yeah,
bags are dope.
yeah. So
That's
You have
awesome.
another
You
question?
actually kind of segue into my next question was, what do you do any male, male
clothing,
clothes or accessories? So you say you just do bags? Is that
yeah.
what it is?
I only launched one bag. It's kind of unisex anyway, but I
Okay.
launched one bag, and the men got on it. They're the ones who buy
Yep.
it all the time. So yeah, but that's what I do for right now.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, all right, okay. Thank you so much, and thank you, Van, for supporting
I
for being
know,
our
right?
sister. We appreciate you. Yes.
So let me just say we have a very interactive audience today. There's been a
I
lot of
know.
comments. I've been trying to share. You're an inspiration, Vanji. Your work is impressive. Van the dude. You're amazing. Hard work and determination. And Marjorie did tell me that I can put the V-Chic design pocketbook on layaway.
Yeah, you can buy in installments.
Affirm. Mr.
So
Jackson tell you
let
about
me
that.
yes, let me just say to our audience, this is Women with Words, the month of March. We've taken it aside to recognize Liberian designers. And this week we have with Mrs. Evangeline Delaney from V. I'm not gonna say like how Margot I got that same name from V-Chic Design.
You gotta say it with the French accent.
Exactly.
How you say it?
Okay, to make it easy, V is just for vintage.
Yes.
And you know how you say chic is chic.
Oh, V-Chic. Okay.
That's it. So it's vintage
all right.
chic.
I graduated from early like the mail, so that's
Oh my gosh. So let's go back to all things fashion because I don't want to get in that mayor hot seat. We have Vanjie Delaney from V-Chic Design with us. And if you haven't visited her Facebook page, I encourage you to do so. Not only does she do fashion as far as clothing, she does the bags for women, she does bags for men. But let me tell you, when I said this girl is a boss chick, she is. So I'm going to jump right into that. This lady had a head full of hair.
Yes.
There are certain people that can only try, and I'm going to say it like my friend Barbara Cooper, only certain people can get away with this kind of shit. This is one bad boss chick.
Yes, but yeah, please excuse her.
Oh, you know I don't give two rats ass about this. We're grown. This lady went and cut off all her hair, and she still looks dope.
Amazing.
Your skin's flawless. Your hair, whether it's long, braided, short. Can you please tell the people why did we lose all of the hair? And tell us how liberating, if it is liberating for you.
It is. Because like one of the things, I came from Florida last year because we had a girls trip. And to be honest with you, with the work I do, every time when I do my own pictures for stuff. So sometimes the hair gets in the way. I got to fix the hair. You know, you got to make up to do, then you got to fix the hair. I'm like, you know what? I'm cutting this thing off. And that one more less thing that I got to think about. So I cut it. And then I had a little low, but not like bald like this. And then I started, every time it would grow because it grows like this. I'm like, you know what? It's best if I can get my own shaver and just shave the thing on and make it easy. So I just do it myself now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I can imagine how much money you save there.
Yeah. Exactly. Because it's like my hair was growing so fast. Like every week I have to be to the barber, and you go to the barber shop, $20, then you got to tip them $5. It's like 20. I mean, $20 a month. I can't be doing that. I'm like, let me cut this thing off and, you know, just do myself. And it's one less thing for me to think about when it comes to working and thinking about hair, to be honest. So
yeah, you got a joke about short hair women, but that's okay. I'm not gonna go into it.
I want to hear it, Auntie.
I'm not even gonna go there because some people are just anti short hair. But you look beautiful.
Thank you.
We love that
you look amazing. As a matter of fact,
I think one of the things I'm glad that I got to touch on that because I remember way back when you used to do the blogs in Texas. You used to do things about hair care.
Yeah, I had a hair care business. Yeah,
and the skincare. So I mean, even with that, graduating from there now, one of the leading Liberian designers, I would want to say, I mean, your products are amazing when people wear it. The quality, you can stand from afar and see the quality. I will be trying to get one and put it on layaway, right? Of course, you guys think you've been watching this evening. We've been talking to Mrs. Evangeline Delaney from V-Chic.
V-Chic.
V-Chic Design. It's been amazing. We love that you could come. Please don't make this your last time coming. We'll just go around and see if there's any other questions from any folks. The website is up. You can see the website. Please go patronize this woman. Her products are really good. One of the there's a friend of mine that a dress was made for her before, and it just fitted so nice. It's really, really, really nice. So I mean I know of your products. I've seen it. I see how the people that like Marjorie then when they buy your product, how they can make other people feel bad. And Marjorie when she buy it, she would just pluck out your knee. Oh, what a you'd be like, oh Lord, I gotta try and get into this. But anyway, it's been a pleasure having you here this evening. Anything we know that you have another engagement. If you want to stick around, stick around. You certainly can. If not, we appreciate the fact that you've been here. Yes, we hope we've been able to introduce you to new people who don't know of you and of your work.
Yeah.
And folks, all we can do is encourage people who have, should I say, grassroots?
No,
the woman at grassroots, she's an elite.
She's an elite. Somebody, of course, she is an elite coming from convent.
Yes,
I will say STC. She is.
There you go.
But yeah, but I got to America. If you want any closing comments, and then
I just had a quick question. Now I know, of course, the economy in Liberia is kind of struggling,
Yes. Oh, yes.
It's not. But do you have any long-term goals when it comes to Liberia and fashion and introducing, your fashion to that market?
Thank you.
I've thought about it, but I went there. One of the things that I considered when I went last year was because right now I've kind of partially moved into manufacturing. So some of my things are being manufactured outside the US. So I was looking for a possibility of doing something like that in the Liberian community, but what I encountered there, I'm not ready to, because keep in mind, I haven't taken any debt for the business. The business builds itself. Mm-hmm. So when you're taking your own investment and putting it into your business, you got to be very careful where you're going to put that in, to get a return, because I'm still building. Yeah. So I don't know. I haven't really given it, because in essence, if I would do something like that, maybe that's 10 years out, but then 10 years, a lot of things can happen, but I don't even have it in a 3-year plan or 5-year plan. So
yeah, that's fair.
I just and it's almost like a common trend. Talking to the other designer last week, is some of the things they want to be able. It's like our designers want to be able to invest in our Liberian market, but in order to do that, you have to know that you're going to get something in return. Mm-hmm. And so we just hope we can get to the place where it'll be easy. It'll be easy on everybody to be able to invest in the Liberian economy and also be able to gain something back, because of course it's a business.
Yeah.
No one wants to put in all this work and sacrifice not to get nothing. Yeah. So you have any closing comments for us?
I think
young designers out there too, please.
Okay. Yeah. And you kind of touched on something like that, and then it may not necessarily be fashion, but anything you aspire to have or to do or to be or whatever, you have to go at it. And what I'm noticing a lot of times, people are building businesses now, and after 2 years, they don't see the return on the investment. They throw the towel. I've been doing this from 2014 now, so it takes, and then sometimes people look at your 5 years, 7 years state, and the 2 years they want to be where you are, and you can't do that. I don't care what anybody say. And people assume that when you come into the business or you come to any type of business, it's supposed to happen overnight. Those are all liars. Anybody telling you stuff like that, they're lying to you. You will have to understand how to run your business, no matter what field you're in, and you be able to grow to that level. It's not going to happen overnight. You will have to learn the ropes. You will have to go through the steps and everything. And one thing I would recommend, because there's something I didn't pay attention to, is people who are already in business, stop just making decisions to invest in your business without having any data to back your decision. A lot of times people will go and buy a lot of stuff and put it on their website. How do you know that people want what you're putting out there? Right. You have to look at the data, look at the analytics, the things that are going on in the back of your store, and having your data, your analytics, they're there for a reason. Yeah. That tells you what kind of product that people want to engage with. They tell you what kind of product people want to buy. So if data drives your business and tells you, like I tell people, your data is like the blood in the veins of the human body. So your data tells you what people want to see in your business or what people want to buy. You can't buy commodity because that's how you lose in business. If you buy more of the things people don't want, it sit on the shelf as inventory.
Right.
That's not money in your pocket. So you go into the space that the people want. You give the people what they want. Yeah, it may be your design, but still look at the things that people are liking. And you guys may not know, sometimes I go through the people who buy from you a lot. I got on YouTube and I look at the trends. I see the type of things they involve, the things they like. That's what you call market research. You go and find out what the people are into. What are they clicking on? What are they enjoying? What are they talking about? Those are the things. And you come and bring it to the table and put your own spin on it. And chances are you will attract it because they're already talking about it, so
there is one question before you go, and I'm sorry. There's something that you do that I really draws me to your line of business. When I wear a piece, I don't want to be the only one per se, but I don't want to see 25,000 of it all over the place. And that's one thing about V-Chic design that I like.
Yeah.
You have a minimum amount that you put out into the market. I have this tie-dye. It's a blue tie-dye.
There's only 6.
Yes. And I wore it once and I had so many people stop me for that. And I was kind of happy that they were admiring it, but I was even more happy that they couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Until I'm serious. It's just a woman thing. I'm sorry.
I
do make decisions on that. Like, for example, in the spring collection I'm coming out with, there are some pieces, there's only going to be 2. Because this is the way I see it. If it's a unique print, okay, and it's done a special way, if you try to recreate it, it takes the essence, it takes the value from it.
Yes.
And because the brand is an exclusive brand, I'm not just, and then that's what people don't understand. I'd rather 3 people buy my pieces. That's why I don't budge when it comes to the price I charge, because you're gonna be the only person, or if you got it, the next person who got it probably is way across the other country who you would never even engage with. So I don't mind, because I know that if this is made, this is it. Like the dusting you're talking about, I think I only have 6 that I sold, and I keep count. Like certain things I'm not going to make. Like I remember I made a dress for Bonnie. There's only one of that dress. Nobody else got it. There's some things that you have. I got that other tie-dye that only you got it, because that's how I do it. Certain prints, I don't feel like it's supposed to be all over the place. That's the whole idea behind, the brand. So, yeah.
And that's why I will continue to be a customer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll be reaching out to find out the layaway processes.
As long as you make hit off for her, she already have Evangeline.
Yeah, just the hit off. That's all you gotta worry. Hit and earrings, you're good to go.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Vanjie. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. We've enjoyed it. We've learned a lot. We want to work for all of your accomplishments and many more. We want to say we wish you all the best and congratulations to you and your family for all that you've done. Come back again, and like we say, if you have to share anything, please feel free to share on the page. We'll definitely promote you. You have free access to our page to share and to promote your business. Thank you so much.
If you ever need a model, I'll be here.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll be there. Yeah. Okay. All right, we'll see you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
So that's it, folks. Don't go away. We're coming up with our advertisement of the month. It's been a long time.
I know.
I just see the owner of this advertisement actually made a comment, and we might be calling him soon to interview him, but the advertisement for the week. You ready, Agatha?
Yes, I am.
There we go.
Oh my goodness.
Vodka.
This is really close, near and dear to my heart. We are highlighting today Ham's vodka. This, my people, is made in LIB. It is LIB owned. It's made in LIB, so you know that creates jobs for people. And we're promoting Liberian-owned business. Let me tell you, y'all know I let my little smart tea in it. There are 3 different kinds. There's the bitters. Oh, that's actually my drink right there. Let me tell you about this mixture. There's the honey vodka, and then there's the original. Please, please, please patronize Liberian-owned business. Now, this is not available here in the States at a liquor store right now, but he's working on it. So go to Ham's Vodka and make sure you tell him Women with Words send you. And I'm telling you, this is up there with all of the other vodkas that you buy in the liquor store here. So look out for Ham's Vodka. There you go.
There you go. And Hams, if you find anyone coming, just put one in somebody's suitcase and send it.
Oh, I can make it happen for you. Don't worry. We got the
Please
connection.
make it happen.
Yes,
All
I will
righty.
make it happen.
Awesome.
So we're
It's
so proud of
really
you, Himian, and we'll stay tuned. We're gonna bring you on to talk about it. We want to be able to encourage you. Also, we know it's difficult.
Yes.
I was able to watch 1 or 2 videos on his website and see how he goes, how he does production. Is very tedious, but the fact that he's even back home in Liberia and doing this is just amazing.
Commendable.
Yes, very commendable. Very, very commendable. Let me make sure I don't click us out of here. Okay. Now let's go to the trending topics in Liberia.
Ooh, let me drink water for that one.
All right. Trending topics in Liberia. What would J.J. Roberts say? Delaney, let me start with you.
So we're gonna act something out. I'm gonna be the interviewer. And Agatha is going to be J.J. Roberts. I have 2 questions to ask her. And that would be, yes. You ready, J.J. Roberts?
J.J. Roberts is ready. Let's go.
Okay. So J.J. Roberts, from whence you've come way back then, when you came to Liberia, looking at Liberia today, what would you say?
Well, I'm very discouraged because the settlers that moved from the fields, the cotton fields of Virginia and the South, we came and we worked extremely hard. Today, our masters are saying that they're embarrassed because our homes are dirty. We weren't dirty on the cotton fields. We certainly weren't dirty in Crusoeville. So why is Monrovia so damn dirty, Koji? That's what J.J. Robert would say to Koji today.
Yes. And I think for me is it's kind of sad when we're not taking the message and doing something about the message that's been sent to us, but instead we're trying to say, we know that it's wrong. We know what we're doing. We know that the place is dirty, but you don't have the right to tell us, but you're not doing anything about it. So how does that help the society?
On a serious note, do you know how difficult it is to go to someone's house and see that it's dirty? Most of us won't say anything. So for someone to actually muster up courage to tell you that I am a visitor in your house, but I gotta tell you this because I'm worried for your well-being. Your place dirty. So don't take it as an insult, right? Take it as constructive criticism and fix it. Don't make excuses for it. What the man is saying isn't a lie. It's the truth. Monrovia is filthy. I'll tell you a story. I think when Ina Mae Jones were on the last time, I told a story where I visited Cape Mount sometime in the 80s. That was one of the cleanest places I've ever been to. The people didn't have paved roads in there, it was all sand or dust or whatever. But they will sweep, and with that, that country broom, they will make patterns on the dirt. It was so beautiful. It was immaculate. It was clean. They were living in mud houses, but it was clean. We cannot compare that to Monrovia. Liberian people naturally are not dirty people. Not as I remember as a child.
Yes.
We are not dirty people. So even the people in the interior knows how to clean the thing. Come on, man. You wear that bow tie and you walk around the place and your house filthy. You should be ashamed of yourself.
Just a blankly blank.
Absolutely. It's very discouraging. We saw the mayor roll out a program yesterday. We'll see where that goes. We are
I said
watching.
fire him. Bring Mary brought
But,
back.
I mean, in any society right now, the mayor would have been fired.
Absolutely.
In any society, but
Absolutely.
Liberia. In any other
But
society,
Liberia.
but Liberia, the mayor would have been fired. The mayor would have been either he would have been fired, or they would have the president would have requested his resignation. One of the
Yes.
two. But he would not be there right now. They would have put somebody else there. Even if that person know what they're doing, they would have put somebody else there until they find the right person for the job. But just to remain, in the status quo is troubling. But we're watching. We'll see how it goes. The next thing on there we have is the University of Liberia graduation. And all the dudes then they get lined up for the year.
Okay, I'm gonna set this one out, Glenny. I'm gonna turn it to you all because I didn't go to LU. What do I know? Who am I? Go ahead, Glenny.
So it's very hard because for me, I went to both Huntington and the University of Liberia, and I know I studied my butt off. I had instructors like George Fanderson teaching economics, and of course I'm ANA, so I wanted to make good grades, so I had to study hard. If you had doing that day when you graduate with a 3.5 average, you are very smart. And then to see someone just show in our face, I mean, yes, there may be other things going on. There may be other people paying for grades here and there. But to have the mayor of this country say that he's a cum laude, huh? Cum laude.
Mayor of the city.
Mayor of the city, cum laude.
There's an E, there's a T at the end.
He at every damn thing he says. Can you imagine? It's like, how do I feel as a graduate of the University of Liberia? How does that make me feel when I cannot even get a 5 from George Singh or 0.5 from Thomas Duo? When we did accounting, we used to, I remember LU, 310 accounting, I was doing it. That night for me to be able to make an A, I had to stay up all night and have my feet in cold water. And then you see this other Evert plus what? It's nerve-wracking, I'm telling you. And the thing is funny, and the thing is, it's a joke. And I don't understand. It's what I don't get is, and you see university graduates who take pride in their university not saying anything. They're so silent. They're muted. And then to even make it worse, the president of the university said they did an investigation, and they found that, of course, that the mayor did get his cum laude degree.
With a T.
Everything is a T.
You're right when you say it. Even when it was high school, it was college, there was always a few people that were able to sneak by, pay for grade and things like that.
What is that word?
Huh?
What is the word? ABLE? Can you pronounce that for me?
Ewa.
Oh, Evo too. Amen. AVORE. There were a few people that were able to sneak by.
That's a nonsense.
And pay for grade. But the thing is, those people were always at the bottom.
Yes.
They didn't dare. They
Come
didn't
on top.
dare come in near people who actually studied. They didn't. These days, they just put it there. And people who are people who are actually applying themselves. And this is not just about University of Liberia. It actually stretches out into every fabric of Liberia. That's why people in Liberia do not want to apply themselves.
Yes.
They feel like, what's the use? Why should I go to school? Why should I study? Why should I try to be better? Why can't people now thinking like, what should I study? I will just pay the teacher too now. Then all I will just pass. And then you get out of school, you give me a piece of job to clean, you ain't able to clean. You ain't able to speak, to explain why you can't clean.
You're sitting there, the man say you're sitting there, and he said no. Yeah, my sister, you can ask her for money, but you don't ask me to explain why my sister get it.
So it's incredibly sad. It's incredibly sad.
You know, I don't want to talk about the mayor of Monrovia, but I do want to highlight that this is a national problem in Liberia. I interact with a lot of young ladies in Liberia, and I will have to say that I've met them at different spectrum. Okay, I've met one that doesn't know the difference between to know as in knowledge, KNOW, and know as in negative, not, won't do it. She interchanges that a lot. But I also met a young lady that I've recently placed for a job that is very articulate. She's very knowledgeable. She writes well. She speaks well. So there is still hope in Liberia, and I believe this lady, the one that I was saying, speaks well and it's articulate. She went to, what's the Catholic college name? Stella Marie. College, yeah. And the one that doesn't know the difference between NO and KNOW graduated from the University of Liberia. So, you know, as awful, as embarrassing as it may be, I still want to encourage people out there that there is hope, you know, but let's don't promote wrong. Let us don't promote that this is right and this is the norm and how it should be. Clearly, you can tell that this young man is not educated. He did not earn a degree, let alone come out cum laude of the University of Liberia. So, you know, I'm embarrassed for the university that they did not speak the truth, because quite frankly, they're saying this is the substandard kind of education.
And it's acceptable.
It's acceptable.
Yeah.
So shame on it all. Shame on you, University.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That basically that's what they're putting out there. This is our best. This is our cum laude.
Yeah.
And so yeah. And
I think, I mean, what even hurts the most is we're all a part of, I think we talk a little bit about it, the alumni associations. So how is it okay for me to be a graduate of LU and think that's the standard, and think that's okay to have someone graduate, and it's not because of the accent, it's just because it's not there.
It's not there.
It's just not there. And just slap into our faces and say, this is what you're producing from LU. Come on.
Yeah. Y'all better stop giving them money.
Stop giving them money if this is what they're going to do. It's like, even questions the validity of the president himself. It's like, who is he really supporting? I mean, can you imagine? Take that man who is a cum laude and put it against a cum laude in America or in another country.
But go right to police Stella Marie. What are you
going to Stella Marie?
Just go to Stella Marie.
And put him against that.
One of those little children in 10th grade and put him there by them from one of those schools from Father Color Hill Elementary.
Yeah.
Take a 7th grader and put it next to him.
Go to St. Teresa's Convent.
Huh? You think they're going to be saying period?
No, but you're absolutely true. Like our guest that was just with us just now, you guys know I live in Minnesota. St. Kate's is one of our top schools. So as soon as she mentions St. Kate's, I automatically put her at a certain level.
Absolutely.
Just like that. Just the fact that she went to St. Kate's.
So
put her at a level.
Let me take it another step. Let's move back a little bit. Benji also went to St. Teresa's Convent.
Yes,
in Liberia. She had the foundation necessary to be able to excel at St. Kitts.
Yep.
So, you know, Liberia, we had a high standard of education before. Let us don't lose it all just for a few dollars.
Thank you.
This is our future we're talking about. It's shameful. It's embarrassing that the University of Liberia will stand beside behind such foolishness, such fraud, a bow tie wearing, illiterate fraud.
Yeah. And with that, thank you so much. And those are the trending topics in Liberia for today. I am encouraged that in the past few days there hasn't been any national report of rape.
Yes.
I'm encouraged. We still look forward to the government prosecuting the rape that has been happened.
Yes.
We still look forward to the government setting into place programs that educate women and children on how to recognize such things, how to react to certain things, and how the government in turn should react to their reaction. So we still look forward to those things. But it's a good day when this is not the headline.
And we need to continue to talk about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So, as we stated on one of our previous shows that we talked about rape, I want to encourage the families in Liberia and even here, stop forcing your children to hug an uncle. Mm-hmm. I always say that really bothers me. If they don't want to sit on his lap, please don't force a little girl to sit on your brother's lap or this uncle that you're really not related to. If a child tells you that they're uncomfortable spending the night at someone's house, listen to them. Protect our children. Let's stop this forceful relative nonsense in Liberia. That's why our children are being abused. So we're going to continue to talk about it.
Absolutely. All right, Delaney. You can go.
And I think one thing I wanted to talk about is I saw the gender minister today talking about climate change. Can they please just focus on rape change? Please.
Yes.
Rape change.
Yes, I saw.
Nowhere we worry right now in Liberia about climate change.
No, we worry about rape change.
And the dust and the heat been killing us for ever since. Anyway, I'll leave it. But the first lady just speak today about climate change and how she identifies with Liberia.
The first lady or the gender ministry?
The first lady spoke.
Both of them.
Oh, okay.
Both of them spoke today.
Okay.
All right, let's go to trending topic on the page. And these are trending topics with different views. Please let me just give our disclaimer. These may not be the views shared by any one of us here.
That is correct.
Yes, I want to make sure I make that disclaimer because this very first topic, I actually had 10 people reach out to me.
Oh dear.
Because they wanted to know how I felt about it, why I shared on the page, blah, blah, blah. Look, listen, the page information comes from all over, even in India on our page.
All over the world. Yep.
All over the world. So please, let's go there. Don't report us. Like what you can like. Laugh about what you can laugh at. If you hit it today, we'll come back tomorrow. Take a break and come back. But that page ain't going nowhere. No. Because you see, Agatha and I, we ain't trying to be blocked anymore.
No. I don't want to go to Facebook jail, y'all. It's rough out there. It's rough.
I am still in jail that I cannot comment. I can just like in a group. So the comments are here. I can't go and respond to anybody comment. I'm still in jail. I have 22 days left. I'm still in jail. Yes.
That just was long, man.
Very long.
You gotta go to treatment.
I'm telling you, Facebook, I'm telling you, man.
Yeah,
MC. They're trying to discourage me, but we will be great. We will be great,
yes.
Mark.
Oh, yes.
Mark will be great. The first one, there was a post shared with a woman that had hair under her armpit.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And some people said it was fine. Some people said it wasn't fine. But some people wanted to know what Glenda had to say. I'm old-fashioned. I don't have hair under my arm. That's what Glenda had to say.
Listen, like with everything else, I say to each his own. If you want to keep hair under your armpits and anywhere else, you want to go au natural. If you like it, I love it. But let me just say it. back in the day when I was playing basketball, you know, you smell bad when you sweat. Let me just put it out there. And if you're gonna keep hair under your arm, don't be coming to hug me if you're funky. That's all I gotta say about that. But if that's what you want to do, more power to you. Just don't hug me if you're funky.
Believe it or not, this post had 1,700 views.
Seriously?
Yes, it had the highest views on the page this week.
What Sons of Adam got to say about that?
Yeah,
are you into that old natural stuff?
Men, because
to be honest with you,
hold on 1 second. There was a lot of men too, Agatha, who was against this post and said that was Jack Kerouac.
Oh, really?
Don't let me tell you something.
Okay, Son of Adam.
Don't mind no people there. In the end, we really don't care. We really don't. Let me be honest with you.
Come on, that really brother, he can tell the truth.
We don't. Hey, you say, yo, man, when they say pantry, well, lapa. We really don't care. You know, let me be honest with you. Yeah, we don't, you know.
Okay, but that I mean, so it is. If it's what you like doing, do it. If it's not, then don't do it. Just do what makes you comfortable.
Yeah.
The second post was it says early morning sex requires complete silence because if you blow your breath, if you blow any bad breath, the wife or the husband or any your partner says that sex is over immediately.
But Barbara had a really good advice, right? She said, and I don't know if I can say this, she said the night before, if you use Listerine and hydrogen peroxide,
yes,
you won't get bad breath in the morning. And she said, thank me later. So if any one of you out there try that, let us know. Give us some feedback.
Let us know it works so we can share it. If kills it. I wouldn't know because I'm a virgin. These people would probably know, but I don't know. So
I don't have that problem, so I don't know either.
There you go. There you go. So,
and of course, I don't know if a lot of people know, but they have these breath mint strips.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep that on your bedside table, you know. Those things
come in. The expert
no problem. Free of charge. I'll give it up to you.
Give me advice.
Free of charge.
Okay. So that was the second post that had a lot of comments on it with early morning. So do something about it. Brush your teeth at night. Use peroxide, but also as a nurse, make sure you rinse it out with water after that peroxide. Okay. And then also like Adam's son is say, keep a strip of gum on the side. I don't have to worry about any of that side. I sleep in my bed very nicely by myself. I get up and smell my own breath. That's right. Number 3, it says this was funny. It was really serious. The third post that had some concerns. I think about 1,100 people viewing it. This wife and her children, her husband was, I think he's in the military from Nigeria, went to Spain. And I guess he listened to his sister, brought his wife and children back to Ghana, left them there and took and ran away with all of the documents back to Spain. And it was so sorrowful. Oh, the woman was so hurt. I mean, she was crying and it's like, and people was trying to say that I think the reason why he took advantage, maybe because she was illiterate, maybe she didn't know the system and all of that. So he just brought she and her children back to Nigeria and just left them there. Whether this story is true or not, we have no way of validating it, but just seeing the way it presents means that it was very hard for her and her children. Number 1, she just probably lost her husband. Number 2, now she has to come and start with her 3 children with nobody for support. And then the other one is that the in-laws, she was saying that the sister-in-law who didn't like her was the one who pumped the husband up to it. So these were the trending topics on that page. I tell you that page, somebody said, Glenda, you told us only Friday is Yama Yama, but that damn page is like every day.
Every day that Yama Yama Friday.
Every day is Yama Yama. So tomorrow is Yama Yama Day. But before we leave, we need to talk about who's coming next week.
Hey. Remember, we're having all of March, we are talking to Liberian designers. We had Monsieur Couture in Liberia. We had the Michael Smith in Canada. We talked to Evangeline Delaney from V-Chic's Design. And next week, we have the one and only, Yanni CEO of Yanni Designs and Couture. So we're excited to talk to Yanni and cannot wait to hear about how he got started and his suits that he makes and just learn a little bit about him. So please do not miss next week when we talk to our own Liberian-owned designer, Yanni CEO.
Awesome. That would be a great show.
Yes.
We're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to hearing about his business, his designing. He's a St. Patrick's school man.
What does
Cathedral.
No, and we had a man, brother. You had the other day with his wife.
Cathedral. Yes. So he went to Cathedral.
There you go.
So we're looking forward. We're looking forward to him coming. We're looking forward to next week's show. Is there anything else we're missing? Nothing. And
there is one thing. I want to encourage people to please send in the Ask Auntie questions. We've missed it a couple of weeks. There is one that came out, but we're running late, so we'll keep it for next week. But I want to encourage you to email us at gsbc@gmail.com. You know where to find us on the Facebook page. We're Women with Words, and we do have that YouTube channel, y'all. Y'all check it out. Women with Words. And y'all go buy us a Ham's vodka. In fact, I'm going to make me a drink tonight.
Yes, we're hearing good things about it. I will definitely be trying it soon. If I don't try it, by it being sent to me from Liberia, I will definitely be trying it in June. I'm going somewhere and I know it will be there.
I will bring a bottle just for you, but
Thank you, baby. I will be there. And you know what? I think I'm going to take a whole week off over there. I won't drink enough of it.
Ham's vodka. You all need to try it though, for real. It's a really good product.
Yes, we will.
Yes, please get me the hookup.
I will.
I love mixed drinks. I love mixed drinks, and vodka is my base all the time.
Okay.
I don't like too much dark liquor mix. So
no, this is not a plug-in. I'm just telling you from experience. Let me tell you what I did. I took his honey vodka and the regular vodka, and I'm friends with a local neighborhood liquor store. And I took it there and I told him to give me feedback so I could give to him in. And he drank it and he said, Agatha, where can I get this from? This is up there with the rest of them.
Wow.
And he told me, as soon as this guy gets it in the States, I want to be able to carry it in my store.
Awesome.
That's beautiful.
It's good.
That's beautiful.
It's that good.
So we're definitely
Liberian made, y'all.
Yes.
We got some good stuff in Liberia.
And he making it from scratch.
Yes. From what?
He able to make it from scratch?
Yes,
he ever. Spell it for me. How you spell it, Mikey? How you spell that?
A-B-O-R.
You gotta put a T there, my brother.
Oh, I'm gonna put a T in.
I put a T there.
Put a T. But until next time, we will see. See you, folks. We'll see you next week. And make sure you guys are here next week to watch to welcome our guests. Okay, bye.